Welcome, everybody. We are live with a special bi-week episode. We're going to have a little bit of fun tonight. I will introduce our guests in just a moment. But please, if you guys, right there, as I always say, hit the subscribe button. It's right there in front of you. You can't miss it. Then hit like. I mean, it really helps the algorithm. It helps get our videos out there. And so we just appreciate you guys if you could do that for us. And share it out. Share it out. This week, let's get it out to some Oregon fans and some Oregon podcasters because, they're focused on who are they playing this week, Oregon?
They're off.
Oh, they're off too. So they're focused on Iowa. So let's just
Yep.
get it out there and we'll all talk about Iowa and Oregon together. Okay. As you guys can see, we got JD there, also known as Jerry. He, along with his brother Keith, he hosts a show podcast called Punting is Winning, and you guys can kind of guess where they got that title from. It's a very informative show. Sometimes he and Keith don't always agree, and I kind of think that's the best shows they do.
Yeah.
And so we have a third person coming. I will introduce him when he gets here in a few minutes. So Jerry, here we are.
We are.
Second bye week. What do you think of the second bye week? What do you think about having two byes?
Well, I know that next year we only have one bye. But this year, I think it comes at a pretty good time. Maybe potentially would have been better after Oregon, but this will work too. I don't think there's really a whole lot of difference in if it's this week or next week.
I don't mind having the bye week right before Oregon because we always follow a big win with a stupid loss. Okay, if losing to Oregon wouldn't be stupid, but I mean, because they are highly ranked and playoff bound probably, but well, maybe not. We'll see.
It might have been better had Iowa, with the momentum that they've got going right now, it might have been better if they'd played this week.
Yeah, that's true too.
But by the same token, if you give Oregon an off week, Iowa an off week, then they have 2 weeks to kind of figure each other out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Having it be at Iowa City is an advantage, obviously, for Iowa because the crowd's going to be jacked up for this thing, and they're going to be loud as they can be. And I'm excited just to see how Iowa stacks up with what is perceived to be a very good Oregon team.
The Oregon team with a lot of speed.
A lot of speed. Yeah, speed.
There's speed, and then USC the following week, I believe.
15.
Their speed worries me too. But
You'll
we're going to get into that when we talk about their last 4 games, and so well, let's just kind of start. I mean, our quarterback, we got off to a rough start with our quarterback. We still won a couple of games and probably lost one we shouldn't have early on. We lost to, of course, Iowa State. We gave up again a 54-yard field goal, I believe, to lose that game. Yep. And then when we had a chance to drive to at least get in field goal range, I believe our O-line just kind of broke down and just kind of if I remember right, this is the game that Iowa State kind of rushed us and kind of sacked us a little bit and pushed us further back. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. The Iowa had the opportunity at the end to get into field goal position, and they just didn't get it done, and the game kind of ran out.
Yeah. And I know that people at that time were barking about Mark Gronowski, like, should we, did we spend good money on him? Because you know how Iowa fans could be, turn on him, turn on the coach, turn on everybody quickly when things don't go well. But we won that game despite that might have been our worst game of the season, the first game of the season. In my book against Albany.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, and that was actually when I talked to the Albany guy who was a guest on our show for both that show and the Penn State show. He also said that was Albany's best game of the year, and they haven't won. I think they've won one game since.
They have. They're 1-7. Yep.
They're 1-7. Yeah. So I know that when he was on our show, he kind of thought that they knew they weren't going to be able to beat Iowa, but they were going to try. But his opinion is that they thought they could get the next 4 or 5 games, and if they could do that, they could get on a roll. But they did not get the next 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, they're kind of struggling. And you know who else is struggling? UMass. UMass hasn't won a game yet.
Yeah.
Iowa's third opponent after Iowa State. Yeah, they're 0-8.
Yeah. Well, until this weekend, the knock on Iowa is that all of our wins came against teams that don't have conference wins, and our 2 losses were against teams that
until this weekend.
Until this weekend.
Yeah.
So we got that monkey off our back. So hopefully nobody's talking about that now.
Well, if you care to hear what Iowa's schedule up to this point, the winning percentage of their opponents, they're 28 wins and 35 losses for a 0.44 or 44% winning percentage. So it's not been great, and that does include Minnesota.
Okay, so what we've got here is we've got 2 non-conference teams that are really pulling us down. Badly.
Yes.
And then Iowa State, what do you think about their current 3-game losing streak?
Lot of injuries. They have had a ton of defensive back injuries. I think they're down to the 3rd or 4th string guys that weren't expected to play a lot, and they're having to be out there. And don't get me wrong, everybody has to play with injuries these days. I mean, you're getting far enough into the season that injuries become an issue with a lot of teams. Players being dinged, some out for periods of time, then they've come back and they're a little rusty. Maybe they don't have the speed that they had prior to the injury. So, Iowa State, living in Iowa, as I do, not very far from Ames, by an hour or less. We do hear a lot about Iowa State here, and they have been decimated with injuries. Their kicker was out for a majority of the season. I'm not sure if he'll even be back. He might be back this weekend. So yeah, they're just decimated with injuries. That's why they're on a 3-game loser.
Hello, Nicholas. As you guys notice, we have been joined by Nicholas. I'm not going to tell you where he's at unless he wants to, but he's on the road.
Yes. So, you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, what have I missed?
Well, we're just kind of we just started rehashing the first couple games, Iowa State, the 2 non-conference games in the Iowa State game, but and how Mark Gronowski kind of just got off to a really, really slow start, and then I believe it was the Massachusetts, UMass, the game that Gronk kind of showed us that he could pass the ball and could do well. I don't remember how many yards he got in that game. I don't know if you have that stats right there, Jerry.
I don't. I've got season stats. I don't have game by game.
Okay. Alrighty.
Anyway. Didn't he pass for 144 in that?
I think it was 144, 135, something in that. Yeah. Just not 150 yet.
He finally eclipsed that 100-yard milestone.
After the first 2 games, I don't think it was 44 and 88 and
then
130 something.
Yeah, we just kind of let our running game. I mean, it's just like last year. The running game is still the dominant part of our offense. It looks like.
Well, Hayden used to say it best: "Scratch where it itches. If that's what's working, go for it. It shouldn't change."
Right.
Dean, what are your thoughts on the kind of the stuff people are saying about surprised that Mark didn't pass for his first touchdown in the Big Ten until this last game? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because a lot of people are saying it doesn't matter, which
I'm going to go with that group because we didn't – the way some of these games were played out, especially the last few, we didn't need to pass the ball. We just needed to keep the ball on the ground, especially against Wisconsin, against Minnesota. We didn't need to risk him throwing an interception or anything like that. And so, would it be nice to see him thrown a couple along the way? I mean, we might have won the Indiana game had he thrown for a touchdown pass instead of trying to run it, because Indiana's defense proved to be pretty stout. I don't remember what he had for passing yardage in that game either, but I just want to win. To me, all I care about is that record at the end of the year, and as long as we win, I'm okay. with him finally getting his first Big Ten touchdown pass. What do you think?
Well,
what's your opinion?
Obviously, I'm on the other end of the spectrum, which is how did Iowa do in those 2-point conversions, Dean, when trying to pass the ball?
They sucked.
Exactly. So when you don't pass in the red zone and you keep relying on him, and a smart team like Indiana or Oregon knows that that's pretty much the game plan, how's it going to work when we don't get any practice down there? I mean, it was awful, those 2-point conversions.
It was.
And when we're going to need those against teams. So, yes, I understand. Like, it's great. He deprives all the running backs of touchdowns and he takes them all in. That's great. But he's got to get some experience passing down there when it's not a wide open field, when he's got limited room.
Okay. But here on those 2-point conversions, why were we even passing? We had Witchin, we have our own quarterback. Both of them are very capable of getting into the end zone right there from where they were.
That you'd have to ask Kirk about why he called those plays.
Well, in my opinion, we didn't need to go for the 2-point conversions either time. The first one was in the third quarter, and I thought at that point in time, why are we going for 2 points when really we've got a lot of game left?
Mm-hmm.
Let's don't chase points this early in the game. Now, if we're down 8 and we need those 2 at the end of the game to tie it, then yeah, go for it. But I think what you end up doing is you end up making the game a lot closer than it really should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I agree.
It deprived us of 4 points.
But I still think, and I'm surprised that nobody asked Tim Lester this at the press conference today about those 2-point conversions, because honestly, I think a lot of fans were upset that one, we even tried it when we didn't really need to.
Now, Dean, you know the media knows what they are allowed to ask and not ask. You know they're not going to ask that.
You don't want to get your credentials pulled.
You don't want to have Kirk and the admins pull the badge. Don't want them coming in here anymore.
Well, here's a question as part of getting your credentials pulled. That reporter that before James Franklin got fired, who went after him like a bulldog and wouldn't let up, even though Franklin was kind of trying to get away from him on those questions, and you could hear the sports information director in the background trying to tell the reporter that was enough, get off of him. Do you think that he lost his credentials, or did he get to keep them because Franklin got fired?
He might get them back.
I was going to say he might get them back. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, because I don't know if he lost his credentials. I would have assumed so, because he wouldn't pipe down when he was told to.
The thing is, though, is when you are the highest paid state employee at most of these state universities, you shouldn't be given lollipops every time. You should have to answer for yourself. In your guys' jobs when you worked, if you messed up, were you allowed to just kind of skirt around it and never have to answer why you did that? No, you were held accountable. Yeah. But with like Kirk and all these coaches, it's just, we don't bring anything up. We never bring anything up. Like when he lied about Budmeyer being a wide receivers coach at Colorado State. Never got brought up to him.
But can I address the Budmeyer and Barnett thing? We were all upset with the hires because we didn't think that they could do the job. Honestly, Barnett has turned out the number 1 O-line in the country, so I'm off his back. I'm leaving him alone. Budmeyer, the jury's still out because the receivers the receivers and the quarterback still aren't in sync. And I don't know what the problem is there, because I think we would all agree that the passing game has to come along somewhere, because now we're coming up against some speedy teams like USC and Oregon, and we're going to probably need to pass the ball in this game, both these games, to win.
Hence why the pass is still important. Hence why the pass is still important.
It's very important.
But it's not treated like that. I mean, even when we were blowing Minnesota or killing Minnesota, why did we hold back in the second half? Let him slang it around. Who cares if we beat him 50-0? I mean, Jesus, we're not playing picnic and house after the game. It's shake the hands and let PJ get pissed, but tell him we're letting Mark get warmed up for the rest of the back half of this season.
Yeah. I was at my grandson's soccer game, which started the exact same time as the Iowa football game. So I was listening to Dolph on the radio through my cell phone. And so I made a mention that in the text group, because I made a text group thing, and I made a mention, and I may have sent it to you guys too, that I felt like once we went into halftime 31-0, that I said, I believe our scoring's over for the day, unless, of course, somebody gets loose accidentally or something like that, or like a punt return or a kick return or something. And, we did a field goal. That was intentional. And heck, Linksey showing us that he could run for a touchdown was intentional. Although Lester said today in his news conference that he didn't want him to do that.
Yeah.
He made up his own mind to do that.
I'd rather see him run it in than try to throw it into coverage.
Yeah. Well, it looked to me like he was supposed to flip it off to somebody as he ran by him. But, if you're open, you're open. I mean, you're the quarterback for a reason, right?
But he's watching Mark Gronowski run in 11 or 12 TDs every, this season so far. And he just figures, I'll just do what he does.
Yeah. Which Helinski can do that. That's why I think he'll be our starting quarterback next year.
Yeah, probably. But he's been known more as a gunslinger type of a thrower. That's was his MO coming into Iowa, was that he was kind of a loose cannon, threw the ball around a lot. And, I guess our coaching staff will take that out of him.
Would he be the first backup to stay at Iowa in the last 5 years?
If he does, yeah.
If he does, would he be the first?
Do you think
I would say
he
would be the first backup to stay at Iowa and become a starter, because we had a couple of quarterbacks stick around for a year or two before they left.
Let me ask you a question, though. Do you want the quarterback that knows that he's probably not going to start, but he's going to try to get second string? Do you want that as the backup? Because to me, a quarterback should want to be competitive, and they should want to play, not be satisfied with, well, this guy's number one, but I got a solid grip on number two. And maybe there'll be an injury, and maybe I'll get in there. But he should have already seen that even as a backup, you're not going to get much time in the game, even when you're killing a team. Yeah. I mean, when did they pull Mark out?
One drive too late, in my opinion.
So what, about 8 minutes to go in the fourth?
If even that might have been less than that even.
Yeah, but I mean, and if we're not going to do anything after halftime, why did he have to come out there?
Yeah, no, I agree that he's still trying to get his injury back. Why not pull him? Why not pull him and let him start working on rehabbing? Because he'll have 2 full weeks to rehab.
Don't risk
get him healthier, and let Helinski. I kept thinking when we go in the fourth quarter, Helinski would be on our first drive in the fourth quarter.
Nope. But he'll pull linemen, running backs, and all that. But some reason, we let those QBs stay out there.
Yeah, I mean, we had quite a few youngsters in the game at the end of the game, but honestly, they could have all come in. But I think Kirk wanted the shutout. I think he wanted the shutout. You notice after they got their 3 points is when Kirk started subbing, or when whoever was in charge of the substitutions. That's when the first teamers were coming out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I will say, obviously, I dog on Kirk quite a bit, and I really don't know where my true opinions are at this point, because he is doing things this year that I didn't foresee. I did not expect us to be sitting at 6-2 right now going into this bye. I'm sure there's some people that sit at home and watch podcasts all day in their apartment or in their basement that thought that, but I didn't. So I do have to give him kudos to actually being open to, different plays, like that pass that he actually did throw to what's his name?
Reese Vandersee.
I haven't seen a pass like that since
McNamara's first game.
No.
He did throw a nice long bomb.
You mean when McNamara's first touchdown pass?
Yeah, very second play of the game.
He threw a bullet, and then Vandersee had the smarts to not turn and shoulder it but try to catch it in his arms and bring it into his body. And it was just a really, I wish we could see more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Jason Hackwell he just informed us that Hecklinski, I got to remember to say his name correctly, came on the field with 9 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And I think Jason's trying to tell us that he thinks Iowa will win out for 10-2.
To me, I'm probably jinxing things right now. I'm not concerned about the Oregon game. I don't know why. It's that trip out west. And if Kirk, as we know, he's a creature of habit, he's not going to change the flight plans like any of that. And that's the game that I worry about.
Okay.
And I worry about if we win that, are we going to come back and try to get some style points against Michigan State? Because we're still going to have to please that committee. I'm sorry, but there still has to be some style points.
Yeah. Well, I am worried about Oregon because they are very talented, very quick. I am worried about USC for the same reasons, and they got that quarterback. And I'm not worried about Michigan State. I think we got a win there for sure. Michigan State has yet to win a Big Ten game. And I think, they wanted revenge on us last year, and I think we're going to revenge back. But
I'll tell you what, the reason I'm
Nebraska is I don't know where they're going to be at. I'll make a judgment on Nebraska when we get there.
I think there'll be karma for that Oregon game, and Dan Lanning's going to have to answer to somebody about taking getting the money from Vegas last weekend to make sure that they did not cover that spread. So there'll be some karma coming back at Lanning in 2 weeks.
Hackwell wants us to know that his preseason prediction was 10-2. Not that they're going 10-2, but so.
Well, in my opinion, right now, every game that they play from here on out is a play-in game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because one loss in those 4, you can kiss your playoff hopes goodbye. That's the way it is. A 9-3 team out of the Big Ten, Iowa, would absolutely be passed over for an SEC 9-3 team. I guarantee.
Look what they're already showing Iowa fans what they think of us by the media, and people aren't bringing up the coaches. The coaches didn't vote Iowa into the top 25 either. They're number 26. So they're letting people know that Iowa is still being looked at as the Spencer Petras, Fatty Hill, that era. And that's why you've got to change the perception. And I understand 33 points is great, but I was watching something this morning where they were doing the thing of like 2 teams. Guess what team it is? And it was Iowa and Florida. And they said this team is averaging, I think it was like 16 points a game. And the guy was like, well, that's got to be Iowa. And he's like, no, actually, that's Florida. Iowa is actually at 33 points a game. So, but like I said, we're being shown it this week in the polls. Yep. Wisconsin blowout, Minnesota blowout, didn't mean anything to those people.
No, they didn't watch it. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't watch it. I mean, SEC is the bias. It's a bias. You know that. It always has been.
Well, ESPN, I mean, that's was my argument with when it comes to like the playoffs, saying that Iowa needs some style points. It's not these members that are going to this room doing it. It's the media heads that will be in people's ears going into that committee to say, look, we can't do a Kirk Ferentz coach, no offense team against somebody. That's why we got to have some pizzazz to like set ourselves up. Like, damn, Iowa goes and scores over 30 points a game in these last games. I mean, that'd be impressive to be up in that. So I agree with Jason on that. I do agree with Jason. I think they're saying like somewhere we're going to be between like 15 and 20. So I'm just going to say we're probably going to be 17, which that will be the number now, by the way, after next week. That will be the number that they will show.
Yep.
What day does that poll break? Is
Tuesday.
That first playoff play? Tuesday?
Wait, it might be on Monday because I think don't they usually do it before the Monday Night Football game or at halftime? I think they usually do the selection.
Oh yeah, because ESPN has the Monday Night Football and they want to keep eyes on the halftime.
Yeah,
probably. Okay. Alrighty. Tuesday, Hackwell said.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay.
I thought maybe Tuesday, but okay. So that's
All right. I had a question, and I was letting you guys talk, and now I can't remember what my question was. I got to learn to write it down as you guys are talking.
We were talking earlier about our remaining games, and I do have a stat here. I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but the remaining schedule for Iowa, the opponents are 21-10 over their 8 games. So that's a 68% winning percentage. So really, in all honesty, the hardest part of Iowa's schedule is yet to come, because the previous teams are only on a 44% winning percentage.
Hopefully Kirk's success in November carries through for this season.
It needs to,
because we do seem to be clicking almost on all strides right now. And that's why I think that I don't really care if it's an 11 o'clock game or a 2:30 game. I think Iowa should just plan on just kicking their ass. I don't think it matters. I mean, Now, do I want cold air? Yes. Do I want like overcast? Absolutely. Do I want it to be that moisture in the air where when you get hit, like you feel that? Yeah.
Okay. How about ice moisture? Because the rain didn't seem to stop Oregon last week.
Yeah,
maybe it did.
Just make it cold.
Well, no, pardon me. Dan Lanning stopped Oregon last week because I just want to know how much he got from Vegas for doing that.
Yeah, they were a 32.5-point favorite
and beat them by 14.
Yeah,
but it was raining. It was raining pretty solid over there.
Hey, what is Wisconsin? What's the one thing they're good at, Dean?
Rush defense.
And what did Dan Lanning and his quacks do the whole game?
Rushed
up the middle. Now you tell me.
But that's because we did. Because we did effectively. He said Iowa can do it. We can do it. Because Iowa has this stigma. Everybody
clearly
thinks Iowa still
cost me a lot of money in a parlay, so I'm very bitter about it.
Yeah, but Iowa's offense has come around, like you said, 31, 33 points a game right now, and people still don't realize that. They still don't. They think of Iowa, they think no offense, no quarterback. People, do you watch and follow the Big Ten at all? I mean, we're tied for third place. Okay. Kyle Reimer says Oregon started the game with an onside kick against Wisconsin.
I didn't know that, but
yeah,
I didn't either.
I guarantee you that LeVar Woods knows that, and he is going to make sure that he pounds it into those guys' heads that this is what happened to Wisconsin to start the game. And I guarantee Iowa will be ready for that.
Yep.
I was going to say, so do we do it to them?
Yeah.
Like, do we start the game? Well, no, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
I do think if they win the coin flip, though, I definitely think that Lanning loves to play those mind games. He will definitely take the ball, just so Iowa doesn't get the ball to start the game.
That could be.
I'd like it. Let's put our best side of the game or team on the field first.
Yeah. Okay, here let's talk about that, guys. I thought maybe our defense would kind of not be up to par this year, previous years. And I know last year was not great, but what do you think of our defense? Do you think they've exceeded what we thought they would do this year, or they should be doing what they're doing?
So I just got Wampa. He has stepped it up like. And I think that secondary I think they are completely feeding off his energy. Dude, that dude is laying some hits on people, and he is not getting the credit that he should be getting. I know that we've been promised this for 3 years, but that dude is playing a game right now he's playing at a different level right now.
I think they finally put him in a position the position he's most comfortable with. Plus, this is his senior year. He really wants to go out on, and show the next level NFL that he can play at this level and play very well at this level. So he's kind of selling out.
Who was the dude that he hit? Was it last week or was it against Wisconsin where the guy was like 100 pounds bigger than him and he straight up just laid him out. I think it was on an out pass too. Like just basically read it and just nailed his. So
I know Cone Ettinger did it in a game 1 or 2 games ago. I don't remember X, but X is playing very well.
I thought Wampa played the best game he played all year, probably against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And he played a good game last weekend against Minnesota. So, it's just one of them situations where he's playing really well at pretty high level right now. And that's what we need. We absolutely have to have that going forward with the remaining schedule we have at Oregon 7-1, USC 5-2. I think Michigan State 3-5. They're going through kind of an issue with their coach a little bit. I think they want to get rid of him. And 6-2 Nebraska at this point. So you're going to need to have these guys step up and really contribute to the defense. Not that they aren't now, but I mean, they have to continue to be rock solid.
Mm-hmm. Kyle says if I was coach, I wouldn't onside to start the game. I wouldn't either. No. We have to have Oregon make the mistake. Look,
I don't even think it's
onside kicks are very, very rare. I think they've changed the rules somehow that it's very hard for the team kicking an onside kick to recover that ball.
I think if you do an onside kick to like start a game like that, I think it shows that you're like kind of desperate. I don't know. I mean, honestly, that's like what I would think. So that's why when you said Oregon did that, it's kind of surprised because that just doesn't. I don't know. It just seems
I would maybe consider it if I'm on the road and I'm a 13 or 15 point underdog. I would maybe consider that
underdog.
Yeah, there you go. I would consider that, but at home, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think at this point it's not something that it's a high risk, low reward, in my opinion, because even if you do get it, it's at the 45-yard line or at the 43-yard line. You still got a ways to go to get to the end zone.
Yeah. So, Kyle, since we didn't actually know that they did Wisconsin score on that drive or recover the ball?
No, I thought you said Oregon.
Wisconsin,
Oregon.
Oregon did recover it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he said the ball has to go 10 yards, but the ball has to bounce weird for the kicking team to recover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to do that thing where it like rolls twice, and then on that like third one, the nose hits and it pops it up. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have good, speedy people on the outside to get to it.
You know who I bet would have been good at kicking onside kicks? Deacon Hill.
I would.
I think he should have been moved to the kicker. Because he could just roly-poly that ball right down there 10 yards. That would be the farthest he'd ever advance the ball, too.
Guys, when he was in high school playing quarterback, he never threw the ball. He ran it. Because a guy his size in high school, imagine guys trying to stop him. He's like a bowling ball running down the lane.
Do Iowa fans actually know who was in charge of giving us that gift of Deacon?
Oh, I do.
I do. Dean, do you?
No, I don't. Tell me.
That was your boy Budmeyer.
It's your boy Budmeyer that you said the verdict's still out on. Because he recruited him to Wisconsin. And then when he got fired from Colorado, because when he left Wisconsin, got fired from Colorado State, Deacon was on the block. So that's who we got.
Yeah. I don't know what he ever saw.
That should tell you what his recruiting, I think, also is like. I don't think we're going to see much out of him.
Yeah. This is what I want to see next year, since we're on that subject, is let Hitlinski be our starter next year. And if Brown's still there, let Brown push him, but Brown will go. I think we need to spend that cash that we spent on a quarterback this year. Let's spend it on a wide receiver,
Only if you have a quarterback, you can get it to him.
Yeah. Go. That's it.
It doesn't matter. He can just run routes out there all day. That doesn't matter if you can't throw the ball to him.
Yeah, but you also need a quarterback who not only can run the routes, but when the routes break down, can get himself open and grab that ball in the air and actually catch it when he puts his hands out there and not watch it bounce away from him.
Well, I think can everybody agree that Anderson slowed up on that one in the end zone?
Yes. He did.
The first one when Mark pretty much put the ball exactly where it needed to go. And Anderson was basically a half step, full step behind. And then he tried to make I tried to get it dive. And it's like, dude, you've been at Iowa for 50 years now. It seems like you've been on the injured list, 49 of them. And then you come out and you can't even run straight, like let the ball come to you. It's like, why is he in there? Is this really how bad it is at receiver?
Okay. Kyle says, I don't know if Oregon scored on that drive.
I don't
The
think
game next Saturday is going to be interesting because I have a cousin who works for Nike, so I have liked Oregon for years, but born a Hawk, always a Hawk, just letting people know.
Dean, do you know how many trucks Oregon travels with to away games?
5 or 6.
3, and they each one of them have different uniforms in case when they get to the game, if they don't like if they all of a sudden decide like let's not wear that one, they can go right in because you've got to have different shoes, socks, pants, helmet, and jersey. So they travel with 3 trucks. Fun fact.
Got a question for you guys. Oregon game. Do we bring out the black pants again? Or do we go back to gold?
Are they doing anything special in the stands? I mean, the last time I think it was.
I think they are doing, or there was talk, but I would like to see the all black pants with a gold swoosh on the pant leg up at the top.
Yeah, like we did against Ohio State 2017.
Were those all black with just that? I thought they still had yellow somewhere on them.
I just want
the gold swoosh. That's it.
They were dark gray
with the jerseys.
Yeah, they were dark gray.
Oregon gets all those cool helmets with like the duck wings and all that. Well, the Hawkeye has stuff like do something on our helmets like that. Put like a matte black, like a big matte black, and then put the gold Hawkeye over that. So it's like a double A. Like, I don't know, just do something cool with the helmets too.
You know what they might do with it being Veterans Day weekend, or they might pull the one off the side and put the Stars and Stripes Hawkeye on there. That's what they'll probably do.
That's how I'm expecting. Yeah,
they're probably doing it. They do it every year. I mean, it's just normal. Yeah. You guys were talking about the last 4 games, and you kind of bypassed Michigan State like you're going to win that one. Man, I'm not as convinced. Iowa always had a problem with really athletic quarterbacks that can throw the ball. Now, Aiden Childs is not as good as he was last year. I don't believe he's got the guys on the outside that he had, but that still scares me, even though it is a home game. Maybe I'm concerned about nothing, but I wouldn't dismiss any of the games. Nebraska, I actually don't feel bad about Nebraska. I think they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. I mean, Minnesota exposed them.
I'm worried that we're going to come into that game at 10-2, or pardon me, 9-2. And that I think that would be, I don't know, that motivation to just bump Iowa off the playoff ledge would be, that's what I'm worried about with. So obviously I've got a lot of hope for these first 3 games, but
I don't worry about Nebraska because Nebraska always ends up shooting themselves in the foot at the end of every game in Iowa.
Things stop at some point. Just don't want to stop this season.
Yeah,
if we come into that 9-2.
Okay,
if this is a playoff game on the line, absolutely. I don't think Iowa's going to let this one get by.
So out of the teams that we're tied with in the Big Ten, one of them's going to be eliminated for sure this weekend. Either USC or Nebraska, yeah. One of them's going to eliminate.
Where's that?
Eliminated.
Yeah, I think it's in Nebraska, isn't it?
It's in Nebraska.
I still think USC's got enough to beat them. I am just not sold on Nebraska this year.
I'm not sold on USC.
They showed me something against Minnesota up there that, and I didn't realize Minnesota's a completely different team when they're home versus when they're away. But Nebraska just looked completely lost in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Jason wants us to know that this is a new defense because we're playing more man-to-man and blitzing this year.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
I like the blitzing.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we need to play Epineza more.
Yeah.
You see how fast, the couple tackles he got? Did you see how fast he got to his man? That man couldn't barely breathe.
Yeah. He looked good the other day, but also you want to bring somebody like that who's a freshman, bring him on because there's going to be things that the offense is going to do that could negate him that maybe he hasn't seen yet. So you just kind of bring him along slowly. I believe next year he'll play a lot more than he does this year.
Yeah.
This year he's more of a mop up type of the guy, which is great. We need those guys, and we need. I think
that's how his brother was. That's how his brother was. And then
you see that interception the other night.
Yeah. What's that?
AJ? Did you see AJ's interception the other day? That was a thing of beauty.
That was about the only positive for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Or no, never mind. They won.
No,
this
they
week.
won.
It was last week.
Yeah.
Thumped.
Guys,
Oh,
I got to be honest. I
haven't
watched more than a quarter of any NFL game this year.
I haven't watched as much either, but I do see highlights occasionally.
Yeah, okay. You know, like I think is the World Series game going on tonight?
Supposed to.
Okay, 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Dean? What do you think the generalized fan? Well, let's just play the hypothetical game. What if when we come back, Iowa gets beat? 28-17. We lose. Playoffs are pretty much done. What do you think the fan base is? Do you think the interest will be like lost? Because then essentially you're playing for, I mean, let's face it, it's a intramural bowl game. We're not going to have certain players. The team we play is not going to have their players. It's going to be a bunch of intramural kids going at each other. Like, what do you think the fan base consensus will be if we don't win this Oregon game?
The ones that are always supportive will stay supportive. The ones that are bitching will get on the bitching bandwagon like they always do.
No,
I guess I'm not asking like what the bitching and stuff. I'm just asking will the viewership be there, or will a lot of people move on ready for the basketball season to get going? Knowing that Iowa's not in the playoffs.
Viewership will still be there because Hawkeye game is a Hawkeye game. Hawkeye fans, remember, they were showing up for 19 straight years when Iowa didn't have a winning season.
Oh, believe me, every baby boomer lets you know that.
Well,
I think certainly there will be some disappointment if they lose. I mean, obviously, with talk about playoffs this week and some of the talking heads, the Big Ten networks really kind of pushing Iowa towards that. And we're talking about them, playoff chances, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's going to be some disappointment. It's going to be, what ifs. And a lot of this is going to be, if we look at back and they do happen to lose one of these next 4 games and are bumped out of the playoff picture, you're going to have to look back at this and say, what game, what caused this? And you have to look at that Iowa State game. Literally, you have to look at that and say, that's the game that kept us out.
It wouldn't have if Iowa State would be winning the games they're supposed to be.
Yeah, if they were still rated in the top 10, I think you'd probably, there might be a little bit more, people might be more on Iowa's side. But that's looking like a bad loss at this point. Not bad, just not.
And there's nothing that they're doing to like change it. They have no kicker. Oh wait, did he come back?
I don't know what the injury report on him is yet.
Conradi or something, because they can't kick a field goal,
right?
I did notice that he's been out. Is he? I don't know if he's back or not.
Oh, he left right after the Iowa game. He got hurt right after the Iowa game.
He couldn't get hurt before.
That's what I said.
He couldn't have got hurt in that game before we got that far.
Yeah, he couldn't have gotten hurt on the second half kickoff or something or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Here's an idea. Maybe we shouldn't have to worry about it.
Jason says he's back this week.
Trying to score.
Okay.
If we just kept trying to score touchdowns, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about a field goal. But we played for the close game and we played for field goals that game.
Yeah.
I mean, prove me wrong.
Yeah, you're right. When you play that game right now, though, I think Iowa rolls Iowa State.
Oh,
it's not even close.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're looking at Minnesota scores. I mean, I'm sorry. These two teams have gone in completely different directions since that game.
Yeah, they have. We're getting injured people back, and those that have been injured seem to be the next man in philosophy seems to be working this year.
Yeah.
One of the things is Vaname. Did he leave the game hurt the other day, or was he even playing? He didn't play at all. I just wonder where he's at.
I did see. Is it Mike Meyer? What's the Meyer kid? Was it? I saw.
I don't know his. Yeah, Meyer. Yeah, he did play.
Mm-hmm. But no, I didn't see Vaname out there at all.
Yeah, he's supposed to be our next great tight end. So.
I think Addison String is going to come back for next year. He's already, I think that's already been addressed that he is going to, try to redshirt this year and try to come back for next year, which is smart.
Yeah, Kirk has already said he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me put a couple scenarios out there to you guys. Okay, we've got Ohio State and Indiana with no losses in the Big Ten right now. Probably no losses, period, I believe. But okay, All righty.
Well,
So
Dean,
let's just say
they're number 1 and 2 in the country, Dean.
Yeah,
Of
I
course
know.
they don't have any losses.
Okay, all righty. All right. Scenario. Oregon is in third place with 1 loss in the Big Ten. Iowa's in third place with 1 loss in the Big Ten.
USC.
USC's with 1 loss in the Big Ten.
Nebraska's.
I thought they had 2 losses.
They have 2.
Is it 2? What
They
about
lost to Michigan and Minnesota.
What about Michigan?
Michigan only has 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan.
So Michigan.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's say
UCL or no, never mind. UCLA has 2 now.
let's
Sorry,
say
go ahead.
because I don't believe Ohio State and Indiana meet this year. Do they? Anybody have the schedule in front of them?
Not until the championship game.
They will
Okay.
in Indianapolis.
Okay, so I'm going to take them out of the equation for right now.
Okay.
All right. Let's say Oregon loses to Iowa and we beat USC, or even Nebraska beats USC, and Iowa wins out. Iowa finishes in third place in the Big Ten with 1 loss. Okay. Does Oregon get eliminated from the playoffs or not because of their blue blood name? Because they will have 2 losses too. And who's seated higher? And who's seated higher in the playoffs? Oregon, because they probably still get invited. 4 teams from the Big Ten, just like last year.
I was just going to say that. I think if Oregon only loses 1 more game to Iowa and they finish the season with 2 losses in the Big Ten, Indiana and Iowa on the road, Indiana at home, and Iowa finishes 3rd, Oregon finishes 4th, I think they take 4 from the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think that the Big 12 is already showing they're going to be they're a one-trick pony. The ACC, I mean, I'm sorry, but
they're a one-trick pony this year too.
Georgia Tech, and I think it's Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Miami. Miami's a guaranteed in. I wouldn't say they're one-trick pony, Dean, but I would say it might be a stretch to get 2, but it is in their own possibility because, like I said, Georgia Tech and Virginia, aren't they both still undefeated?
Yes, they are.
Or one loss. I mean, they're
Well, Georgia
Tech is undefeated. I don't know about Virginia.
And then you got, Virginia was ranked 8, so I would assume that they are. But anyway, so then let's move to the SEC. So you've got Bama, Georgia,
Texas A&M,
LSU's gone, Texas A&M,
Vanderbilt.
So what is that? 4, 5?
That's 4.
That's 4.
And I think that's the only 4.
So you got 4, yeah, 4. Or wait, there still has to be that Power 5.
Yeah.
Which I think who was that
Navy's who they're pushing now.
No, but I mean, Navy's not the one showing up on anybody's radar right now. Somebody else is. I can't think.
They're undefeated. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Oh, I know who it is. I think it's what's his name that used to be at Nebraska? His team.
Well, I've seen Memphis mentioned a couple times from the.
Memphis too.
Memphis got beat this last weekend though.
I thought they won.
One of those teams almost has to go undefeated and win their conference.
God damn it! Now you gotta go look this up.
Who are they playing? South Alabama or South Florida? I mean, or Central?
No,
Florida?
it was. God damn it!
Scott Frost. That's it. It's Scott Frost. And Hackwell says Navy also.
I wouldn't worry about Scott Frost. He has a tendency to fold when the cards are really when it's important.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Memphis beat South Florida, and Memphis is 7-1. So maybe Memphis, but like I said, right now I believe isn't Navy ranked 25th?
Well, they should be. They're undefeated. I mean, give them their props. I don't know who they play, but by the same token, it's still tough.
The coaches poll has
undefeated.
Navy at 23, and they are 26 in the AP. So right, if they went up, but they still have a game against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But so we had 4 from the SEC. If we're going to try to make an exception with Oregon, that'd be 4. So that's 8. There are 4 spots left. You had a Power 5, so that's 3. So it would really have to come down to the 1 Big 12 and probably 2 from the ACC.
And Notre Dame.
No,
I would agree with that scenario. Yeah,
I think
Georgia Tech, Miami.
That Notre Dame Navy game might be kind of a play-in.
Well, Notre Dame is ranked 12th.
That's true. I forgot about Notre Dame.
Honestly,
I forgot about them.
I hate to say it, but Notre Dame's probably going to screw somebody over, and I have a feeling it's going to probably be a team from the Big Ten because ESPN ain't going to let the SEC get their 4 teams in there.
Kind of like remember when ESPN had that big East bias in basketball years ago, when they had Raleigh Massimino and all those legendary coaches. I can't remember all their names. George Thompson.
Basketball was good.
Yeah. The Big East was very good back then.
Yeah.
Shit, wasn't it sometimes they put 8, 9 teams in the tournament?
I mean, they were so Syracuse loaded. And Georgetown and St. John. Some of those teams were just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rick Pitino was part of that. And think of all those legendary coaches that were in that league. Yeah. No wonder these guys were in dogfights all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, yes, I think that Oregon. I don't know. I don't know if they lose to us, that home loss to Indiana might come back to get them.
I think the away loss to Iowa would be the one that keeps them out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that would be probably a nail in the coffin, but I don't know. Oregon's.
But still only 2 losses.
You got to.
They'd only have 2, yeah.
You got to only have that 2. Phil Knight will grease some wheels on that one.
Yeah. Oregon. If Oregon let's say Oregon only loses 1 game and it happens to beat Iowa, 1 more game, they're in no matter what. Iowa could even Iowa could get screwed in this scenario. Even if they win out, they could be the one that gets screwed.
They sure could take Oregon and leave Iowa, on the outside looking in. I hate to see that they would do that, but
I honestly, I can't see that happening. I cannot see them taking. Because Iowa's got better wins against the teams that we played each other right now. Plus, we beat them. I mean, there would be no justification. There's no explanation that could be given to how that could be. I'm just saying, and know that is when the beat writers would probably do their job and actually ask the tough questions to whatever to find that out. But all right, Dean, you said you had 2, so what's the next one?
Gosh darn it, I forget again. Okay. Excuse me for my coughing. I had COVID about a month ago, and I'm still not. The cough has not gone away. Okay, let's just talk about real quick. Well, let's just stay on this course real quick. Let's just talk a little bit about the Big Ten, where we're at. Okay, we kind of started there already. And I think, Jerry, didn't you say you had everybody's records down there in the standings there?
I just have who Iowa's played. I don't have the whole thing.
Okay.
I got it up right now. What do you want to know, Dean?
Okay. Where are we at? How far could Iowa fall if we do lose 2 games to Oregon and USC?
So if like say so it would be 4-3. Well, then we fall back out of the top 10 of the Big Ten. Right now, we'd be with Illinois. We'd be with Illinois and Maryland with 3 losses.
Okay. All right. That's kind of what I wanted.
So that puts us at 8-4 if we lose 2 more.
Yeah. Which is why my preseason prediction was 8-4.
I had 7-5.
I had 5-7.
Guys, let's hope we're wrong.
Yeah.
Well, Nicholas is already wrong, we've already surpassed his. We've already surpassed his.
I would also. It wasn't the over/under this year too 7.5.
Yes.
So there's probably Vegas is probably really starting to sweat this one because I'm sure most people took the over.
Okay. I think it came out 7.5, but I believe it dropped to 6.5.
Ooh, hopefully.
I could be wrong. Now, but you're a betting man, so you know these. You should know these things.
I don't bet futures. I'm ADHD. I need action like right away. I can't wait. I can't wait freaking till December. My God.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we just only really got one person. I don't know who that is, if it's still Jason or who's watching us right now, but I'm a little disappointed, guys, that we don't have more. After I went through all that work to promote the show.
There'll be people that'll watch on the replay, and that's okay. You'll get your views.
That's where I get most of my views anyway, is replay.
So do we. Well, we don't do live anyway. So.
All right.
By the way,
okay, so we did.
It's
Go ahead.
Oregon, Iowa. It's Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, USC. Those are the only teams that have one loss.
Right.
It's 4.
Okay. So Michigan has 2.
No, it's Michigan, USC, Iowa, and Oregon.
Okay.
With one
Alrighty.
loss.
So either USC or Nebraska will be eliminated this weekend.
Yeah, because Nebraska has 2 already anyway.
Nebraska has 2 conference losses.
Yeah. So who do we want?
I hate to say it. You want Nebraska to win that.
I want USC to win that strictly because if Iowa goes out there and beats them, it'll look better because they got another win.
So
it doesn't matter to me.
Nebraska's already bowl eligible. Nebraska's already bowl eligible, so we don't have to worry about that little how it usually comes down to where they got to beat Iowa to get bowl eligibility. That's already gone. So at this point, they know they're going to a bowl game. F them. I want to see USC. I want to see USC ranked when we go out there to play them, because it'll be another notch in our belt of a ranked opponent that it'll be the second one if we get by Oregon.
Yeah. Well, I got this theory on how Iowa's always taking this on the chin, how we can't win on the West Coast. But if you look at it, we're only losing in the Rose Bowl. We won the Holiday Bowl.
We can't win west of the Rockies, dude.
No. Hear me out, dude.
He hasn't won in Arizona.
Hear me out. He has won in Arizona. He won an Insight.com Bowl his first winning season. I believe it was the Insight Bowl.
Well, then what happened in frickin' Tucson in 2009 when I was down there? Go back.
I don't know. Who did we lose to? Oh, was that Arizona? The year we lost to Oklahoma?
No, we lost to Arizona that year in the preseason.
Oh, in the preseason.
Pardon me, non-con.
Yeah.
Okay. We did win a Holiday Bowl out there.
Wait a minute. Are you sure it was 2009?
That's Kirk's one win out there.
I thought we went undefeated that year in 2009.
Or pardon me. Yeah. Pardon me. 2000 and God, was it 10? I gotta go. I'm gonna have to look this up.
Okay.
I think it was 10.
Okay. All right, but I want to get back to the point that as far as games go, they've only lost the Rose Bowl. They've won the Holiday Bowl in San Diego. They have won bowl games in Arizona, and I think they've won a couple. They did lose one, but I think it was to Oklahoma in Arizona. So not to a West Coast team, but to an Oklahoma team who probably shouldn't have been playing that low in the bowl standings. I remember that Oklahoma was disappointed to play Iowa. They were disappointed in their bowl, and everybody thought we were just going to kick their butt because they didn't want to be there against Iowa.
Yeah, we lost 37-24 and 10.
Oh.
Okay. All right. But anyway, I think this is where if we can defense is up to it and we can keep USC offense off the field for a little bit, because I don't know if they're playing defense yet. Maybe you guys know, but they weren't, and we can win this game.
It's just like every game. There's a recipe for winning, and it's eliminate the turnovers, eliminate the penalties, and just play hard-nosed. Get them in the trenches, and that's what wins games. Simple.
Did you say trenches?
Trenches.
Establish the trench.
Establish the trench.
Yeah. Yep. Jason, if you're referring to when I said only one watcher.
You did like your whole face was just like, oh, one.
I know it. Yeah. I gotta show you guys a character that one of the viewers did live on air the other day for us and sent it to our emails. So, but anyway, I'm holding on to it. Kelvin didn't like it because he was presented as a walrus. He didn't like it.
Was he at least out of his apartment? Never mind.
Okay, but you guys would like Paul's. Paul was depicted as leaning back with smoke coming from him.
Reading his notes off the ceiling.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
So
sorry, Paul.
well,
We're not picking on you, Paul. We're not picking on you.
fellas, though, I know I jumped in late, but I do have to go too. I'm trying to get through Memphis, so I don't want to. Hey, I need to get through Memphis, so I gotta go.
Okay.
So I appreciate it. Hopefully we can do this again. And what do you say on yours always, Jerry? On Iowa and go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Yeah.
Go Hawks. We always say go
By the
Hawks.
way,
Everybody does.
I hope Keith watches this and critiques me in the comments, so it can turn about as fair play.
Well, drive safely now.
Oh, always.
All right.
Take it easy.
All righty.
Bye.
Thanks for coming on for as long as you did.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All righty. Okay. So
you were going to ask me, you asked me earlier before we really started, you said, talk about players that maybe surprised you or that have come out and be surprising a little bit. I don't know that there are really anybody that really surprised me. I did go to the spring game, so I really had kind of a little bit of an advantage watching some of the guys. I thought one guy that I thought was going to get more playing time than did was KJ Parker. I just thought he would. He really shined in that spring game. I thought, well, this guy's going to be playing a lot come fall, and he's playing some. But I think the one guy that we said, and it might not have been this spring game or spring practice, it was last year. When we went, I really thought Carson Shire was really, really looking good. And actually this year he leads a team in tackles. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did. I don't think he did there for a while. I think Harold, Jaden Harold did until he got hurt. And actually Harold's been back the last 2 games, but he's only had 1 tackle each the last 2 games.
Yeah. I think he was limited a little bit.
Okay, so they're just playing him a little bit,
keeping him. Yeah, they're not throwing him in full bore, for all the snaps. So, I thought, Zach Lutmer leads the team with 2 interceptions, which they extended the streak to 18 games or 18 years that Iowa's had a return for a touchdown on interception. That was nice to see. Did you know that Mark Gronowski is number 5 nationally in rushing touchdowns?
I'm not surprised.
Nationally. That's not just Big Ten. That's in the entire NCAA.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm not surprised though, because what does he have? About 12 total?
11.
11? Okay.
Yeah.
He'll get more.
Yeah.
He'll get more because it's in his nature.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that when the play breaks down, Mark can kind of keep it alive.
Do you know what his completion percentage is? What would be what do you think would be a good completion percentage for Mark Gronowski?
High 60s, but I think he's at 70 something, isn't he?
64.8.
Okay.
He's 107 of 165, but he only has 4 TDs passing. And those 3 out of the 4 came pre-conference season. And he's got 4 pickoffs. And I think most of those came in the conference, so if not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay. So, no, that's good. Just think if he hadn't got off to a rough start in those first couple games, he probably would be over 70.
I really like where he's at right now with his ability to run the ball. It gives the defense something they have to concentrate on and focus on is that, if we flush this guy out of the pocket, he's got ability to run. I mean, look at what Penn State just whiffed on him a couple times, and he took off for 35 and 67 yards on 2 different runs. Those are the things that defense drives the defense crazy. They just hate that when a quarterback takes off and runs. If you ask a defense, somebody that's good at defense, you say, what's the one thing about an offense that you hate? Running quarterback. Every one of them will say it. And if they don't say it, they're lying to you. So, having a quarterback with that multiple facet that he can drop back and throw, and he's getting more accurate, that's great. But also have the ability to take off out of the pocket or even designed runs and take off. That is so tough to defend. And if you can do it on a regular basis and do it successfully and do it well, that's a recipe for winning right there. And, having a good defense and elite defense helps. That's what Iowa right now is. That's why they're looking at they're 3-0 on their last 3 games. And to be honest, we should have beat Penn State more than we did. I mean, it was just mistake after mistake. The interception at the beginning to give them the short field, the 66-yard debacle that I was yelling at the screen the whole time. Why are we doing this before they even kicked it? you give them 7 points there, you give them 7 points on the interception, and then, you take, you miss a field goal by, this much, that's 3 points. You take 2 points off for two-point conversions that you don't get. You really win that game like probably 32-17, 31-17. So it's really not as close as it was.
Didn't we miss some Didn't he miss a field goal or two in the
field goal
in the Indiana game? Yeah,
he did.
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
that cost us there too. Did we miss one in the Iowa State game?
I don't remember that, but possibly.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of Gronk's completion percentage, Kelvin says the percentage is the same whether blitzes or not. Intelligent guy with pass pro protection. I believe we got I'm trying to verify this. It might be only in the Big Ten, but I thought I heard we had the number one offensive line in the country.
Yeah.
And if not number one, we're real close to the top. But
what is certainly a better offensive line than we've had as a whole unit. Don't get me wrong. There's been individual guys that have been really, really good, but he may not have had the guys around him that were, elite or really good. But, I give you Linderbaum in 2020. I mean, he was outstanding playing in the NFL even still, but he didn't have a lot around him. I mean, he had some good guys, don't get me wrong, and they were a good unit. But then we kind of fell off a little bit, 21, 22, 23, especially, maybe last year was getting better, but not there yet. This year definitely is there. That's why this whole season where we're sitting right now predicated on whether or not this is a playoff team or not is 100%. Well, it's Mark Gronowski being able to do what he can do. And that offensive line, this is the offense that if we'd have had this offense last year, this efficiency that we'd had last year, we would have been talking last year about, I don't know if we'd been playoff, but we'd have been right there.
Yeah. Well, offensive line, I thought did great in the run game last year, but their pass protection was breaking down. And this year we seem to be a little better in that department. I mean, we only have to hold our blocks just a hair long and not have somebody look the wrong way on a misassignment because, when, like when Gronowski gets sacked or the running back gets, hit behind the line, it's because you can see the guy who's supposed to be his assignment just turn the wrong way and the other guy comes in and, and gets an easy tackle.
There's one thing that can be said about a running quarterback that a running quarterback can have a lot of it can cure a bad offensive line to some degree. Now, not completely, because a bad offensive line is a bad offensive line. But if you have a mistake on an offensive line, let's say it's a pass block and the guy just literally gets beat. But having a running quarterback like Mark Gronowski, where he can take off and run, where we've had guys that can't do that in the past, where you'd see a sack for a 7 or 8 or 10-yard loss. And that just kills drives every time. Well, he has the ability to see that, not always, but most of the time, see that, take off and see if he can, if nothing else, not lose yards on a breakdown. And that's something that we haven't seen in the last couple of years, is the guys that just stand back there. I mean, Deacon Hill, my God, he couldn't run. He was just, by the time his brain told his body to run, it was too late. So, having that guy that has that multifaceted ability to run, pass, hand off, whatever, that's anybody can do that. But that cures a lot of issues on the offensive line. Yeah. Not that we have any. I'm not saying we have offensive line issues, because we don't. You're right. Last year, they weren't good at pass blocking. But I think part of that was because they couldn't pass block because the offense or the quarterback at the time, other than Sullivan, who could run a little bit, just didn't have the ability to move out of the pocket. He just, you talk about the quarterback, McNamara. He had a bad knee, and he's always seemed like his legs were always hurt. He didn't have the ability to just take off and run like Gronowski does. Yeah. Even with a bad knee, he's still better than McNamara ever was.
Yeah, I think this guy played 10, 11 games, McNamara total, over 2 years for Iowa. He was never the quarterback we thought he would be. Ever.
Well, it didn't help. I think that he came in wounded right off the bat when he what was it Kids Day, he got hurt and just was never the same. I'm not saying he was, would have been the end all be all of Iowa quarterbacks, but it didn't help that he was injured from the start and never really got healthy.
But I think it kind of bothered me too. Is he could have played the last couple games of the year and he chose not to.
I don't know whether he kind of chose not to, but by the same token, I think he knew that there was some handwriting on the wall that he probably wasn't going to be back in. I don't think Kirk was. I think after that Northwestern, when he threw the interception to that kid and he got pulled out for Sullivan, I think he definitely did see his last play. But I don't know if Kirk told him, we're going to go with Sullivan and ride this guy, and you're probably not going to see the field unless he gets destroyed.
Yeah. True. And don't forget about Shaggy. Shaggy's still the only undefeated quarterback Iowa had the last couple of years.
Yeah. Is he even still on the team, or is he gone?
He's still on the team, but he's like fourth. He's like fourth string right now.
Yeah.
So
you don't think he'll be around next year?
I think he's gone. I think.
You think Brown's gone too?
I think Brown's gone too, because Brown came to Iowa to be a starter, and he even came early last year, to be with the bull prep. When the bull prep was going on, he was working with the bull prep. So was Jimmy Sullivan. And so if you're Brown and you get passed over by a guy who comes after you did in June, and you were at spring practice and bull prep the week before, the month before the spring practice or whatever, you got to be feeling like, oh, golly, did they even want me here? Am I even wanted?
Well, it comes down to, that's why we have a competition. I mean, you don't just look at a guy and say, okay, well, I know that guy's going to be my number one, that guy's going to be number two, and that guy's going to be number three. You have to watch him play, and you have to watch him practice. If they're making mistake after mistake after mistake, and the second string guy or the guy that's in direct competition with you, he's out there zinging balls and making plays and making good decisions, absolutely, you're going to get beat out. That's just the way it is. There's too much money and there's too much on the line to just throw in somebody because you like them better than somebody else. And I think we had some of that at some point in the last 2 or 3 years, because I think we had better options that weren't playing, especially at quarterback.
Oh, that's just my opinion. I agree. Marco, Hogan.
I just think I think there was more upside to each one of those guys than what we had out there. I really do.
Yeah, and Labus, all of those guys had their opportunities, and for whatever reason, they chose not to follow with them. But I still remember, was it Marco or was it Labus? And his last game was a bowl game. We were losing quite a bit to Tennessee, but he kept a final drive alive for us with his feet.
That was the other guy. Labus actually won us a bowl game.
Yeah, that's right. Labus won a bowl game. It was Marco. Yeah, Marco. And I hope they're all doing well at their next schools, because I think all Iowa fans really like these guys. And
Well, I know I saw Brendan Sullivan playing for Tulane just about 2-3 weeks ago, playing somebody. I was watching a little bit of it. I had my quad box going on my TV, and Tulane was playing somebody, and I was watching, and I look up and I see Sullivan coming in, and they said Brendan Sullivan. And he just comes in and does some third down stuff or some red zone, kind of like what Iowa used him for early.
Yeah, used him for when McNamara was still playing.
Yeah. He was not the starter, but he would come in and maybe run some faux wildcat type stuff where you could throw or run both.
See, if he had stuck around, he probably could have done some of that for us too.
Yeah. I think he knew that he was never going to be the starter after they brought Gronowski in. So he just said, the only way I'm going to really play here, play anywhere, is to leave here.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I just don't like the way we treat these quarterbacks, because, and I know that a lot of them haven't panned out at their new schools. So I don't know if they really weren't up to snuff, or we just, as Nicholas has told me time and time again, that Iowa destroys good quarterbacks when they come to Iowa. I'm sure you heard that. I'm sure you heard that from him a few times.
Yeah. and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with him, because you get guys that come in with these big accolades, and they played McNamara, for example. I mean, he led Michigan to the playoff. Now, was it him that did it, or was it just that he had a lot of really good players around him, and all he had to do basically was just not screw it up.
Yeah.
Well, you
Well,
come
you
to
know, he
Iowa
didn't
and you
pass the
don't have
ball a
that.
lot.
Well,
Yeah, he didn't
no,
pass. They ran the ball more than anything.
they
That
had a
was the
good running
year
game.
that what's his name finally figured out how to win games, and he started beating Ohio State on a regular basis.
Oh,
I think McNamara's first year.
Captain Khaki Pants.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh, who's not allowed back to in college football, which I doubt he'd ever come back anyway.
Yeah. I don't want to see him back either, so that's fine with me.
Okay, let's just final subject, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the coaching carousel. That is, I mean, because I think we've seen a lot of big name coaches get fired already. And you usually don't see that.
Yeah, this is a completely new era that we're in right now. Where look at Signetti, where you can take a team through the transfer portal and basically turn them around. I mean, the guy's done amazing things over there, absolutely amazing. But by the same token, if you're an established coach like Brian Kelly, for example, I mean, Brian Kelly in LSU was not a good fit to begin with. But you know, you had to take the chance on him. The guy out at USC, or not USC, UCLA, Deshaun Foster.
Yeah.
I just never could see that to begin with. When he came out with his, Big Ten media day, very first, and he is like completely clueless. Remember that? I just thought to myself, this is a guy that either isn't prepared or he's not really that intellectual. And I didn't know which one it was.
Oh, you remember too, in his first speech, he just like froze.
Yeah, he froze.
He was trying to wing it,
Yeah.
Bring some notes with
I'm
you
not sure
next
he
time.
knew what he was getting into is the thing. I thought,
Yeah.
that he just didn't know exactly what the scenario was.
Apparently, the Pac-12 must have a little bit different setup or something.
Well, and it was his first year too. So, I mean, he had never been the head coach before. So, I think here's the question I have is, Michigan State is not real happy with Jonathan Smith. He's not bringing them to the heights that they thought he would. It's not an improvement year over year. And then you've got the guys that have already left, Franklin, that have been fired. And I think Fickle's going to be gone too at the end of the year. And you've got the guy out at UCLA right now, Tim Skipper, who's taken over for Deshaun Foster, and they used had a new Heisel kid for the offensive coordinator. That's the kind of thing right now. The coaching carousel basically right now is you have to win or you are gone. And it is not like it's the days of somebody being able to get 4 and 5 and 6 years to turn a program around. Those days are gone. And the reason I say that is because you've got that transfer portal that you can bring good players in. And if you can't do that, if you can't attract those guys and you can't get the NIL money that you need, then you're not going to stick around because there's too much money on the line now. There's money not only on the line for the school, but there's money on the line for the kids. There's just so much more involved with the actual running of a program than there ever has been. Mm-hmm. And so if you feel like if the administration of a school that wants to move on from a coach feels like that coach is not contributing in a fashion of success in any of those facets, and I mean any of those facets, if he can't attract players, but he can coach his rear end off and he can coach a kid to start him. But if he can't bring kids in, it's not going to do you any good.
Correct.
And they're going to look at somebody else who can bring those kids in.
Yeah.
And that's just the kind of the where we're at right now.
Yeah. I think,
not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's just where it is.
Yeah. And I think Terry Smith at Penn State, this is, I guess they're against Ohio State this week. And I think this is going to be his coming out party if he can rise to the occasion. He's got talent. It's just, what are they going to do with it?
I think Ohio State wins by this game by probably 20 or more.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be close.
Okay. And
that's my opinion.
Okay. I just kind of wanted to know where you were on the coaching carousel because, wait a minute. Here's another question.
Okay.
Does the UCLA new offensive temporary coordinator, who's been getting, Neuheisel, right? That's his name, Neuheisel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does he get the head coach job, or maybe not because he's not been? I mean, he was a position coach and now he's offensive coordinator.
The only way he would be a head coach, he wouldn't be a head coach at UCLA. I don't think that they would hire him for that position.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they would do is if he was going to be a head coach, he would have to be a head coach at maybe a mid-major level. Learn how to be the head coach, learn how to hire your coordinators, learn how to do all those things that he hasn't had the ability or hasn't been in a position to do. You have to do all those things and put together a staff that wins. And if you can do that, then you can start moving up the ladder. I just think you got to start out kind of at a lower level and work your way up. That's a lot of people do that. Very few that don't.
Yeah. Okay. Kelvin says that James Franklin is reportedly close to a deal with Virginia Tech. Had you heard that?
No, I hadn't. But get him out of the Big Ten. I don't want.
Yeah,
him
he's out of the Big Ten.
Or
We don't want it.
or Wisconsin or any of those. I
All right.
want to see him back in Kinnick.
I got some games. I want you to help pick them. I picked them on our podcast, and
I'm not great at this, but I have my opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're going to do. Let's do that. Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. All righty. Vanderbilt at Texas. Who you got?
Who do I want to win?
Who do you want, or who do you? I don't know. Who cares?
Did you say it's at Vanderbilt?
Yeah. Oh, it's at Texas.
Oh, it's at Texas. I want Vanderbilt to win, but I think Texas wins if Arch Manning is back.
Has Arch Manning been gone?
He got hurt at the end of the Mississippi State game, like really late.
Okay.
I don't know if it's how severe it is as an ankle or something. I'm not sure.
Okay. I actually took Vanderbilt in this game.
Well, I hope they win. I'm actually rooting for Vanderbilt, but with it being in Texas and I was kind of flipping block back and forth, I said, well, whoever the home team is, I'll take.
All righty. Penn State at Ohio State. I took Ohio State. I think that's a gimme.
Ohio State big on that one.
Yeah. Although it wouldn't hurt my feelings if Penn State actually won the game. But we'll see. Because it wouldn't surprise me if Penn State won out.
But really now, here's the situation. If Penn State would happen to upset Ohio State, and Ohio State wins out the rest of the season, they beat Michigan at the end, all that stuff, Iowa wins out, then Iowa may have to play Indiana in the championship game, which if they don't win, that could knock them out of the playoff.
Got a question.
The reality is I don't want Iowa in the championship game.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, that was my question. Because I want them to finish third. I don't want them in the title game.
Right. Because I think a third loss, even if it is in the championship game, a third loss for Iowa would take a 9-3 over a 10-3. They'd take a 9-3 SEC team over a 10-3 Iowa.
Yeah. God, would that be crazy? Okay. Rutgers at Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, I think so. Are you surprised with Illinois a little bit because they were really considered one of the favorites to go to a playoffs and maybe even challenge a little bit for a Big Ten title?
I think Illinois is more of a product of their schedule. They've had a pretty tough schedule.
Okay.
I mean, they've had some pretty rough games. I mean, they've lost to Ohio State and Washington, and that's
all right.
rough.
How about Cincinnati at Utah? Cincinnati has been coming on this year. I didn't give them much credit at the beginning of the year, but
I still think I'm taking Utah, and the only reason I'm taking them is because of the being out in Utah. That's the only reason.
Me too. Yeah,
traveling
Utah
west
as well. Okay, here we go. Arizona State at Iowa State. I took Arizona State because
Iowa State's just too wounded. I think Arizona State takes it, but I think it's a close game. I think it's like 27-24 or 30-27, something similar to that.
Okay. All right. Oklahoma at Tennessee. Now we were pretty well split on this last week when we picked these games for this week.
I'm going to pick Tennessee, but I want Oklahoma to win.
Yeah. I agree with you on this. I took Tennessee, but be rooting for Oklahoma. All right. Michigan State at Minnesota. For me, this was easy. It's Minnesota. They bounce back.
Minnesota is a completely different team at home versus on the road. I take Minnesota in this one. Only I think it's closer than you expect.
Yeah. Okay. USC at Nebraska.
As much as I hate Nebraska, I still think I'm going to take USC.
Okay. I took Nebraska. I don't know why, but maybe because in my heart I want USC to, I mean, I know that Nicholas doesn't want USC to come into the game losing, but
if you take them out before the Iowa game, does it give them less to play for? And so maybe their motivation might not be as high as they would be if they're still sitting there with one loss and still have playoff hopes.
Right. I think if Nebraska helps us out by taking them out of their playoff hopes,
I still think USC
that
is
helps. And we can always, However, with the quarterbacks that USC has and Nebraska has, do we see a shootout? 38, 37, something like that.
It could be. It could very well be. I'm not sure. I think the weather Saturday here is not supposed to be all that great. Overcast, 40s for highs. So I imagine that would probably favor Nebraska a little bit because of the coolness. I don't think USC, and they're constantly, you're out there at USC. It's probably still 80s every day out there.
Yeah, low 80s.
Yeah,
high 70s, low 80s, depending on the day. Like
it's a little bit of
today,
a shock.
the high was supposed to be 78, but it was like 82.
Yeah, and today it's supposed to be
72
high of,
right now. Yeah,
58 here, and I think it got up to 56. So
yeah, here in Bakersfield, we kind of go the way the sun does. Like the sun is down now, and so the temperature dropped to 72. It gets really cool, and we were in the 40s overnight last night. So without the sun, it gets cool. But even at 75 degrees with the sun shining, it's really hot. Take away the sun, 75 degrees is cold.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
I'd still take 75 here.
Okay, cool. You guys is having some nice weather for this late in the year.
Yeah, it's been nice up to this point. Yes. We got 9/10 of an inch of rain yesterday. It rained most of the day, just really, really lightly. And that's really kind of greened things up, believe it or not. Our grass has been pretty brown, and now it's kind of greened up. Now we'll go into dormancy here real shortly, and then it'll go back to brown again, and that's fine.
Yeah.
To mow.
Yeah, our weather right now is normally December, January is a lot of rain, a lot of fog. We've already started some of that. And it's like I live out in the country, so I know when it's foggy when I look out my front window.
Yeah, I live in the country too.
Yeah, we had fog last night or this morning, so it does get foggy here in the and rainy during the winter months. But I told my wife this morning, this is the end of October. We're not supposed to start that weather yet. Give us another 2 months, please.
Well, at least we're not Jamaica and getting a big, huge hurricane.
No, God, I saw the video of that. That is just horrible.
Yeah.
That's one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit from the Atlantic Ocean. Is it moving toward the States at all? Do you know?
I haven't been following it. The local weather guy here is more interested in the local weather than he is about, what's going on down there. So we don't really get
I guess he figures people could tune into the Weather Channel or Fox News or something if they want to see it.
You got a little pocket computer with you.
Yeah. All right, I got 2 more games.
Okay.
South Carolina at Ole Miss. Again, I took Ole Miss.
Yeah, you got to on that one.
Yeah. And Duke at Clemson. I really struggled to come up with a really decent game.
Duke at Clemson.
For my number 10 game.
Clemson's kind of reeling a little bit. I think they're really disappointed in what they had at the beginning of the year versus where they're at now. So you kind of wonder how many of the kids are just playing the games out just to get through the season. I think I'm gonna take Duke on this one, and maybe I'm gonna be wrong terribly, but I really like their quarterback.
Okay, I still stuck with Clemson because Clemson's Clemson, and they're at home.
Yeah, I don't think you can go either way. Either on is fine.
You know that in my preseason pick on a show that I was a guest host on at the beginning of the year, I picked Penn State and Clemson in the national championship game.
That fell apart early, didn't it?
It fell apart quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Eric says, what day will they announce the Iowa-Oregon kickoff? Either Saturday night or Sunday morning.
I would bet on Sunday or Monday.
Yeah. There are 4 games that they put on hold, and I'm told that it has to do with Penn State, Ohio State. They want to see how that game turns out, how Penn State plays. Because I'm guessing that who are the eligible games? I forget that could.
Well,
do we
I
want
think
a big noon kickoff, or do we want?
I think it would be Iowa's benefit to play at 11, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I know it won't be a night game because they said on a week ago, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, whenever they played, was it Wisconsin, that was their last home game or night game that they were going to play all year.
Yeah.
And I think there was a
Chad
rule at one point
Lysico,
that the Big Ten was not going to play night games in November because of the cold. But I don't know if that got taken out when
I don't think that holds campus because remember Iowa played a night game at UCLA last year. I was there.
Was that in November? Yeah, it would have been in November.
Yes, it was.
So yeah, maybe because of the new schools coming in, they threw that one away.
Yeah. So what Chad Lysico put out there when he said that they would announce the game Saturday night or sometime Sunday.
Okay.
Game time. He said also too that from what he's been told, it's either big noon on Fox or 2:30 on CBS. Now 2:30 on CBS will give 2.5 hours for the fans to get more liquored up, get more juiced for the game.
Yeah.
Get rowdy. Because at 11 o'clock, they're going to be a little bit still sober.
Breakfast is still kind of gurgling in their stomachs a little bit,
Yeah.
and the Bloody Marys are a little bit, interacting, and it's not.
But I understand that everybody thinks that, that Oregon playing at 11 o'clock in Kenning Stadium is like 9 o'clock to them, and they're not used to early games that early. And
it'll be a little cooler.
Crisper. So I don't know. I'm on the fence which way I would like this to go because game will be in the dark. It'll be under the lights by the time, if it's a 2:30 game, by the time the game ends.
No question. Yeah, it'll be dark probably by midway through the third, if not maybe right before the third, depending on if it's a 2:30 or a 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Does is that the night that
no, we set our clock
daylight saving times ends, or is that the week before?
We do that this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Saturday. Okay. So it will definitely really be dark then.
Yep.
Okay. Eric says, so can Iowa still potentially get a night game even though they supposedly reached their max for the Big Ten? Surely someone can overrule that if they can.
I guess there's that possibility. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah. All right. Kelvin's posted this a couple times, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it up here. They'll extend Kirk for recruiting purposes. I can see him getting a 1-year rollover each year to keep him at 4 or 5 years. What do you think?
I think we just need to wait and cross that bridge when we come to it. He's still got till 2029, and let's wait and see what happens. I don't even know if I want to speculate that far in advance.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I will say this, and some people are not going to like this because I've done a little flip-flopping even since we talked. You remember that conversation earlier in the season you and me and Nicholas had where I was wanting Kirk to retire. I didn't want him to get fired, but I wanted him to retire. I'm actually now looking at the coaching carousel and the things that are going on, thinking, thank God we have Kirk. We may not always be happy with his conservatism and the way he does things, but, he's been consistent.
Yeah.
We don't like the 8-win seasons. We'd rather have the 10-win seasons and playoffs, but
not everybody can do that though.
Yeah.
I guess the things that bothered me about Kirk was the offense, the absolutely stagnant offense, and the not seemingly wanting to change the stagnant offense. Those were the things that bugged me. It wasn't about graduation rates. It wasn't about defense. It wasn't about how he runs the team. I know there's been some things in the past, blah, blah, blah. I get all that. But it wasn't ever an issue for me as far as him, not being able to do it. It's just sometimes I think his inability or not inability so much as he didn't want to change the offense. He just wanted to stay old school. And I think that things just kind of kept changing in the landscape of college football, throwing the ball, running these different offenses. Getting Tim Luster in has been the best thing that he's done. And I realized last year was his first year, and it takes a little bit of time to implement that and get the kids to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. And I think if you continue to put these young kids who are just coming into the program and you let them sit there and digest this stuff year after year after year, by the time they get up there in their junior and senior year, when they're playing a lot of the minutes, then they can run this offense so much more as it's supposed to be ran, as opposed to just learning it as you're running it.
Yeah. Well, we'll say this about Lester's first year, even though they had a lot more learning to do. He got them up to 27 points a game versus 15 the year before. And right now, is it 31 or 33?
31 and a quarter.
Okay. I know that I thought it was 31 something, and I know that Nicholas, when he came out here, said 33, so I wasn't sure which it was.
Iowa scored 250 points this year, and if you divide that by 8 games, it's 31 and a quarter points. But the opponent has scored 105, and if you average that out over 8 games, it's 13.125. The difference of a scoring difference is 18.125.
Cool.
To be exact.
Cool. Yeah. And I noticed that our passing game, though, is still well under 100, almost near the bottom.
National stats. I got some couple national stats I want to bring up. This is defense only.
Okay, cool.
Rushing defense, 4th.
Yep.
Through Saturday.
Cool.
Scoring defense, 4th. First down defense, 8th. Passing efficiency defense, 7th. Total defense, 2.
Yeah. Okay. 2.
Behind Ohio State.
Wow. That's just the Big Ten, or this is national?
That's nationally.
Wow.
Go to NCAA
with those kind of
stats.com.
numbers, I think with those kind of numbers, we should be right in the thick of it. Okay, Eric says, if he does step down, what do you think of Lester as head coach and Rogerio as the new OC? Keep the other coordinators with Wallace taking over for Parker eventually. I think it's too soon to talk about that, and I think Lester's already said he's not interested in head coaching.
I actually would like that scenario over Wallace being the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of people that think if Kirk steps down, they would like all his coaches to go and start fresh. But, I'm not there. I think Lester would be a great head coach. Rogerio, why not? Why not OC? I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I like LeVar Woods as special teams coach. I'm sure he wants to do more. I get that, but he is so good at what he does that he'd be hard.
Here's my theory: if he does step down, which we never know when he's going to do that, he may call it at the end of the season. Maybe he wins a national championship and thinks, okay, I've done what I can. It's time to move. I got everything accomplished I wanted. We don't know. We don't know what his thinking is. But I would think that both Parker would retire too, because he's in his 60s. I would believe Wallace and the offensive coordinator, I believe that they both would leave and go elsewhere for better positions. Unless, of course, one of them gets the head coach. We don't know. But I do think Lester wants to put down roots in Iowa City. He likes it. So maybe if the opportunity came up in the next couple of years, he would take it.
He's been a head coach.
Yeah, he has been a head coach. Yeah.
So, I mean, at least he has that to put on his resume and say, yeah, I've been a head coach. Yeah, as a group of 5 or whatever you want to call it. What was it? Some directional Michigan school or something? Where was he? Do you remember?
Western Michigan, I think.
There you go. Directional Michigan school. So there you go. I mean, is it Power 5? No, but.
No, I'm sorry. I think it was Central Michigan that he was at. Western Michigan was Fleck.
Yeah, Fleck, yeah. I hope they extend PJ Fleck to a lifetime contract.
I don't know. I actually hate it when we get rid of coaches, when school gets rid of coaches that Iowa beats, like when they got rid of Frost.
Right. Yeah, get rid of him.
Do we have to get rid of Frost?
Let's keep Fickle up at Wisconsin too, if we're really, if we're going to wish for the stars, let's keep Fickle, PJ Fleck, and let's keep as far as I'm concerned, you can keep Matt Rule because we've been rolling over him pretty easily too.
Yeah, I think Rule's going to get it done, though. I really do. I don't know if he'll get him back to national championship level, but he's going to have them consistently 8 to 10 wins every year. I believe it. All right. Kelvin says third in Big Ten scoring this year. Okay. Best since second when we
had a super
super O-line in 2020. Yeah. Well, after that O-line left, I mean, the 21, 22, 23, 24, those guys were a lot of youngsters. They were thrown in because we lost a lot of guys in the transfer portal, lost some to injury, lost some to NFL. I mean, or graduated. Yeah, and these guys had to get thrown into the fire young, and now they're all here for their 5th and 6th year. Dude, they've learned. They've grown up.
Yep. They know what's expected of them every year when they come into games and practices and this, what's expected of them in the weight room and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope we come up with a great game plan to slow Oregon down. The best way to slow Oregon down is do not let them have the ball. Iowa, long, sustained drives that end in touchdowns.
Well, I don't think that Oregon has the defense this year that they've had in the past, and I think Iowa can score on them. It's just a matter of, and I know Iowa's got an elite defense, and they really look good. Let's just hope that the defense plays well enough to keep Oregon on the short end. I just need that. We need this win. I mean, obviously
we need it.
Every we talked about this on the podcast last night. We talked about, or the night before last, that every game is a playoff game. You're playing off to play get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's just like NCAA tournament for basketball. You win in advance.
Yep. That's just what it is. You just keep going. Yeah.
And your consolation prize is if you don't do that, you get to play in a bowl game somewhere, and that's fine. It's not what you go into the season wanting to do, but you want to go into the playoff. Obviously, that's what everybody wants to do.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We've always followed up a clunker with a really good game, and I'm wondering if we clunk against Oregon, do we go into Los Angeles and come home with a win? I mean, Kirk's got to get tired of losing out there.
Well, let's just take one step at a time. Let's get through Oregon, and then we'll worry about USC when we get to USC. At this point, Iowa's has to be that mentality is one game,
ahead.
Then the next game. It's not, we can't look ahead. We just got to stay focused on what's right in front of us.
Yeah. Now, Michigan flew out there Thursday for their game when they had it, and that didn't work. You think Kirk should go out a day earlier, maybe Wednesday?
Yeah. Well, whatever he's doing, whatever he did last year for UCLA,
do something
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Hey, thank you for being on the show. This was great. I know we kind of had this in the mix for a couple of weeks to do this show, and I appreciate you taking part in it. Guys, catch his show. Punting is Winning. There, you can find them on YouTube. They got clips on Facebook usually. They always have a question of the week, which is always fun to answer. Although I've not been very good at answering them. Well, actually, you haven't asked us anything specific lately, just more of opinionated stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, we're not getting the participation that I would kind of like to have seen. So I thought maybe this week it's about Halloween. What's your favorite candy bar? What, do you, when you give out treats, do you give out full-size candy bars? And, what's your address if you're going to do that? But those are the kind of things that I just want people to participate and enjoy it. And there's no pressure. There's no, you don't have to be right or wrong. It's just let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Milky Way, by the way.
Yeah. There you go.
See, always has been and still is.
I'm a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup guy all day. And then Mounds after Almond Joy after that.
Yeah. No, I will eat a Reese's because my wife loves Reese's. So sometimes she buys cases of them. Throws them in the freezer.
When can I come out and visit?
Frozen Reese's.
Right. Yeah. Because, unless it's a frozen Snickers. I really like those too.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a Snickers fan. Anything with nuts in it, out.
I'm getting a little older. My teeth aren't as good as they used to be. So I put them in the freezer, but I have to kind of let them thaw a little bit.
Yeah.
because you
Maybe.
can't break off one and you're like, oh, there's part of my tooth broke off with it.
Yeah, you got to eat. You got to bite into those carefully. Well, thank you for being on the show tonight. I appreciate
anytime.
it.
Just let me know when you want to do it again. I'll drop what I'm doing.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.